Hey everybody, this is Chin Fat. Welcome back. I'm going over the Davinci Resolve tutorials, and in this episode I'm going to be covering, starting to get into audio. We showed how to do an edit, we showed how to import footage and do basic editing inside of Davinci Resolve, and now we're going to be getting into sound mixing. So for that, you're going to jump, the last thing I'm going to actually go through, actually is the second to last thing, we're going to go through audio mixing, which is this page right down here. Then we'll go through color grading, and then we're going to get into deliver, which is exporting out your project here. So let's jump into this, into audio. We're going to jump over to the audio page right down here at the bottom, and this brings open what they call Fairlight. Fairlight is an audio mixing software that's been embedded inside of Davinci Resolve. And I'm going to admit that I'm pretty new to this, but if you know audio mixing to a degree, you're going to do okay in this. You're going to figure things out, which is kind of what I've been doing as well. So what I've done here is I've found a bunch of sound effects that are going to be appropriate for my project here. And I put it over here under your master folder. I've got the sound effects folder, and I've pulled in a bunch of sound effects that I'm going to be using for mixing this project. Yeah, I went through and found a bunch of different sound effects. You can get sound effects on under YouTube Studio. You can get free sound effects at freesound.org. There's a handful of websites out there where you can go and get free sound effects. You can create your own sound effects, or you can just get sound effects off of something like freesound.org. It's kind of a go-to for me. But I'm gonna move this over a little bit so I can see the names a little bit, because these some of these things here have longer names here, and we could also search those as well. If you got like a ton of sound effects that you're going to be using in your project, you can go up to the search engine, just type in, let's say you're looking for ambient noise or something like that. And if it's under ambience, you're going to type that in. Right when I start typing it in, it brings up two of my sound effects here that have ambient noise, one with the College Hallway and one with the Ambience Theater School. I don't know why voices are specific to a theater school of drama, but there they are. And if you want to preview any of these sounds, you can simply just click on them. You don't have to double click on them. You just single click on them and then press play. And it plays the sound effect right there. That way you can preview them. And by the way, something that I haven't brought up on previous episodes yet within Davinci Resolve, if you're working on a Mac, I really like when I'm working in just like Davinci Resolve, or any other software for that matter, I usually like to go full screen. If you go up here to the top left-hand corner of the screen, right here, you got this little green button right there. I'm not sure if this does it on a PC. I haven't tried this, but you click on that little green dot right there, and it will take it full screen, which gets rid of everything else here. And if you go out and get out of that, you can just go back up and click on that again, and it will bring it back to normal there. So that way, if you need to move the window or something like that, you can just grab it and move it around like that. So let's put that in full screen there. Now you notice that you don't have a video track in here. We're just mostly working with audio, but when you play this, it will automatically play the video from the open timeline that you have loaded. So if you want to play it here, right now it's still loaded on that sound, and if I press play, it's going to play that sound, the ambient noise, but now you have to click in the timeline right here, and then press play, and then it will play your video right here. One thing to keep in mind here, this is a very, very small screen. You can make it bigger by going and arranging these things like that and make it a little bit bigger. The way I like to do this, I'm usually working on a dual screen device. You can actually click this little floating window button right there, and it makes a free floating window of your video. Now you can change the size as much as you want to, and if you've got a secondary monitor display, you can grab this and drag it over to your secondary monitor. I do have a secondary monitor connected, but you guys can't see it. You can only see it because I'm only recording this screen right here. You want to get that back in, you just go up here and push that little button right there, and it docks it back to the user interface here. So now as I play through this, I didn't have any sync sound on this. This was a project shot without any sound. So we're going to go through and try to make this sound natural and bring some sound in this to bring this thing to life here. So first of all, we've got this environment. What you want to think about when you're doing sound mixes, first of all, think of what you're looking at, then think about what sounds you might hear in this environment. Of course, one of the very first things we would hear is room tone. Room tone is the noise that you get naturally occurring inside of any room that you're in, whether you're inside of a large building, if you're inside of a house, if you're inside of a bathroom, if you're inside of a kitchen. It depends on the size of the kitchen and depends on the size of the location that will cause certain things. Like if you're in a larger location, the sounds that you create will have echo to them. You're going to have any sort of echo, natural echo in even smaller spaces. Things like homes and classrooms, you're going to have so many materials on the wall and carpet that absorb the sound, and you're not going to get a lot of echo in a space like this. But you are going to get ambient noise. There's kind of that natural kind of hiss that exists in the area. And if you're outside, like this shot right here, you're going to have outside ambient noise. Rather than room tone, you're going to have the ambient noise. You're going to have kind of the noise in the air from the city streets, from the birds chirping in the environment, dogs barking, whatever else you might hear outside. Now, before you get sound mixing, one thing you typically would need to do is calibrate your studio monitors. That's your speakers, your headphones, and a lot of audio mixers do not like mixing on headphones. They prefer mixing on speakers. It gives a better feel of how loud noises should be and how quiet they should be when it's kind of surrounding you instead of having the speakers pushed up against your ears. But if you have to sound mix in headphones, it's just fine. But what I've got here, and these are in the exercise files right here, is this minus 12 decibels mix level check right there. This is an audio file that you can just drag into your timeline here, and you can turn your speakers up to the right level. They have to be placed at the right level. Usually the way professional audio people will set the proper level on their speakers is they'll use what's called an SPL monitor, and they'll turn each speaker up and down the way they're playing pink noise to get the right level of noise. So then when an explosion sounds loud, it's going to sound loud enough, and when something is supposed to be subtle and quiet, you can turn it down and get it to where it's subtle and quiet, and you're going to hear the way it's supposed to be play when you go and watch it in a movie theater. We're doing a stereo mix here, which is different than the way they do it in a movie theater. They use types of surround sound or Dolby sound, which uses a lot more speakers than just the two stereo speakers, the left and right, that we're going to be using. But yeah, I've got this file here. I like to drag it down into my timeline here and just drop it in here so I can actually see the waveforms. And I'm going to expand this so you can see those 8 waveforms really well. But this guy has a guy speaking that helps you to calibrate your speaker. That's what this file is for. Just doing a kind of a quick calibration, kind of an in the ballpark calibration rather than using an SPL meter. So I'm going to go to the beginning here, and we're going to play this and listen to his voice.
Right now, my voice should sound like a normal conversational voice would in real life, just about 3 feet away from you.
So that should sound like you said, a normal conversational voice. But now this one's going to be more like movie dialogue here, which is going to be louder and more amplified here.
But now my voice should sound more like movie dialogue, slightly exaggerated, like it's coming from up on the big screen.
And dialogue normally in a stereo environment is going to be mixed around -12. It's called normalizing. That's where people usually place dialogue, is right around -12 for a stereo signal. If you're working in surround sound, it's actually around -20. And that's why a lot of people have issues when they're watching streaming at home. If they're watching a surround sound mix on a stereo television set that just has 2 speakers, you'll find yourself turning the volume up during the dialogue sequences and turning it down during the action or loud music sequences. So a way to solve that is to go into your Netflix or whatever you're using, or even a Blu-ray oftentimes, and choose the stereo mix if you have a stereo setup rather than a surround sound setup. Now, he's got a few things. You can go through this file and listen to it, but the couple things here, when he plays that dialogue, I use that. I will be turning up the volume on my speakers while I'm playing that. So I'll go to the beginning, press play, and then start turning my volume up to where it sounds like nice, prominent dialogue. There's also 2 other bits of audio in here that I really like to use to calibrate, and one of them is going to be this music right here. This should be barely tolerable right here as loud music. So he even says that here.
This music should sound pretty loud. It's mixed about as high as you should go for beta SP or TV broadcast.
And right there, that music is going right up to the top, close to 0. I'll talk about the meters here in a little bit, but you should never hit 0 on these meters, and it was coming just almost a decibel less below 0. If you hit 0, it's going to clip and distort, and you don't ever want to touch 0. You don't ever want to get it that loud. So while I was playing that, I turned my speakers up a little bit and got the music to where it's kind of barely tolerable. But there's some other sounds here at the end that's a little bit more important that will also help get a final calibration here. And these are going to be the subtle noises. And that's going to be right about here, about a minute into the file. You'll find these spots where he plays really low audio. And these ones should be barely visible, if not at all. I can't even really see them on the waveform monitor at all because they're so subtle. They've been turned down so much. So the waveforms aren't really showing up on there. But if we press play here,
the following sounds are mixed about 40 dB below reference level. You should still be able to hear them, but they should be subtle.
So 40 dB below reference level is -12. That's where normalized dialogue is hitting on an average. So that's about 40 decibels less than that. So it's going to be down in this range here toward the bottom of the scale when you play it. And you can see it's got a little bit of sound here. It is about 40 decibels lower there. So it's right down around this range here. And this is a subtle beep. You have to kind of, if your speakers aren't hearing this, you would have to turn your speakers up till you hear this very subtly. And that's a little bit of a beep there. And I could just, with my speakers, I think I've calibrated them properly because I can barely hear that. And then you'll hear a pink noise and then you'll hear crickets. So right here is the beep. Beep is gone. And now I press play. And there's pink noise. Very subtle. You can see it just kind of pumping up there, bouncing around. And now And that actually, it's got two different types of noise there, and then it goes into the quickest toward the end here. And there's the crickets. And that's very, very subtle to me. I can hear it. I can tell they're crickets, but it's very subtle. So the music is barely tolerable, and the low and these really low ones are very, very subtle. So that's where you want that. That's where you want it. And now my speakers have been calibrated. You're not going to crank up your audio in here to get it louder. You're first of all going to calibrate your speakers, and then everything that you're listening to while you're sound mixing should sound natural. If it's quiet crickets outside, you can get them to where they subtly belong. If it's a loud dog barking right outside your window, that might be a little, that will be a little bit louder, maybe around like -12. If it's a loud barking dog like right in front of your face, it might be up around like -6 or -5 or so, kind of a really loud, super loud, scary bark sort of thing going on there. So, all right, so I'm going to get rid of that. Now that I've got my speakers calibrated, I'm going to start my sound mixer.